Many people reach a moment in life when something about their faith feels different. Before, it seemed easy to feel the presence of God. Any worship song could touch the heart. Any message seemed to answer exactly what was inside the soul. But suddenly, something changes. Prayers become quieter. Days pass. And it feels like heaven no longer responds the way it used to. And then a question begins to grow inside the heart of many people. Does God still speak to me? This question does not come from disbelief. In fact, it usually comes from someone who once experienced the presence of God. And it is exactly here that we need to understand something very important. When someone asks this question, they often imagine the answer must be complicated, but the truth is simple. God has never stopped speaking. The voice of God has never ceased to exist. What often happens is something different. It is not that God moved away. Sometimes it is we who slowly drift away, and this distance rarely happens suddenly. It happens gradually. And to understand this better, there is a story in the Bible that explains this process perfectly. In the first book of Samuel, there is a very interesting moment. The Bible says that the word of the Lord was rare in those days. And that is remarkable because in that place there was a priest named Eli, someone who should have constantly heard the voice of God. Yet during that time, God's voice was rarely perceived. At the same time, there was a young boy being raised in the temple. His name was Samuel, and it was with this boy that something extraordinary happened. One night, Samuel heard a voice calling his name. He immediately ran to Eli and asked, "Did you call me?" But Eli answered that he had not. This happened more than once. Samuel was hearing God, but he still did not recognize the voice. And this reveals something very deep about our own spiritual lives. Sometimes God is speaking, but we are not able to perceive it, not because God is absent, but because our spiritual sensitivity has slowly weakened over time. And it is exactly at this point that an important question arises. Spiritual distance almost never happens abruptly. It begins with small changes. First, prayer stops being a priority. Then the time we spend with God becomes shorter and shorter. Routine begins to occupy all the space. Other concerns start to dominate the heart. And without realizing it, what was once essential becomes only occasional. When this happens, it does not mean God has stopped speaking. It means our attention has moved elsewhere. But the good news is that this can change. The Bible shows that when Samuel finally understood what was happening, Eli taught him something simple. He said, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." This attitude reveals three important principles. First, availability. Samuel was willing to listen. Second, humility. He recognized that he needed to learn. Third, proximity. He remained in the place where God was speaking. And these same principles are still true today. When someone decides to seek the presence of God again, something begins to change inside the heart. There's an important detail in all of this. If you feel a longing for the presence of God, it means something is still alive inside you, because no one misses what they have never experienced. Longing for the presence of God is a sign that the heart still desires to return. And maybe today you're thinking, I miss God. But there is a beautiful truth in this. Perhaps God is also saying, I miss you. The good news is that the path has never been closed. God has never stopped being available. He remains in the same place, simply waiting for the heart to seek Him again. And sometimes the first step is simple. A moment of silence, a sincere prayer, a heart that simply says, Jesus, I want to come back. And when someone decides to take that step, something begins to be restored. Because God has never stopped speaking. He is only waiting for someone who is willing to listen. If this message touched your heart, like this video, share it with someone who may need to hear this today. And subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. Folded Hands Sparkle.